Hi friends, it's Kristi. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm making a beef and potato bowl. It's actually beef, potatoes, and vegetables. As always, I'll put links down below to some of the items that I use, like my meal prep containers, my air fryer, different things that I use, I'll link down below. So this is a recipe I found from Dr. Matt Cooks on Instagram. I couldn't find an actual link to the recipe, but I did tweak it a little bit. He used a little bit more ground beef than I'm going to, so I'll share down in the bottom what I end up using. So for the vegetables, I'm using Brussels sprouts, a red onion, and some mushrooms. So I'm going to be dicing those up. So I'm going to be using 12 ounces of potatoes, which this is a little more than 12 ounces. So I'll just keep that for another meal. And then the recipe calls for ground beef. I'm going to use 1.5 pounds, but I didn't quite have 1.5 pounds. So I'm also going to be adding, just mixing in some ground turkey with it. And then also calls for some non-fat Greek yogurt, a lemon, some garlic paste, Dijon mustard, dill weed, and then some seasoning. I'm just going to use this blend. It's salt, pepper, and garlic. So if you're following Weight Watchers, this comes out to just 3 points per serving. Unless you're on the diabetic program and you count your potatoes, then you do have to count the points for those. And then for calories, 485 calories and 45 grams of protein per serving. So I'm actually peeling my potatoes. You can definitely leave the skins on if you prefer. I'm gonna just dice them up into just small little cubes, and then those are gonna get tossed in a bowl. I'm gonna use about a tablespoon of olive oil and then just season those up. And then those are gonna go in my air fryer. I'm gonna air fry them at 400 degrees, and I'll just keep watching them. Usually what I do when I cook any type of potatoes in the air fryer, I just kind of flip them around so often and then just cook them until they're the crispiness that I like. I usually like my potatoes pretty crispy. I've got my meat in a pan. I've got just a tiny bit of olive oil in there. I'm going to just let this kind of sear on the one side. I'm going to flip it over, let it sear on the other side, and then once it has a good sear, I'll add all my seasonings and chop it up. And also for the points and calories on this, it's based on using just ground beef. So usually I don't use the ground turkey with this. So if you really want an exact, then just make sure to make those adjustments. I'm chopping up the vegetables. I did already go through when I washed the Brussels sprouts. I got some of the outer leaves off of them, so I'm just going to chop up. I don't think this is going to make quite 2 cups. It's supposed to make 2 cups worth of Brussels sprouts. I think I'm going to be a little bit shy of 2 cups, but that's fine. And then I'm going to dice up my red onion and then also dice up the mushrooms. Once it has a good sear to it, I'm going to break it up and then just add my seasonings to it. So once my vegetables are all diced up, I'm going to add those to a skillet with about a tablespoon of olive oil and then just season those real well. And just cook those until they're sauteed. So now I'm going to make the sauce, which I'm not going to put the sauce in the meal prep container. I'm actually going to put it into little containers to put on the side, and I'll just drizzle it over each of the meals each day that I have it. So I'm just going to put the full batch together for all 4 servings. I'm going to be using 1 cup of the non-fat Greek yogurt. To that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of garlic paste, also 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, about a 1/4 teaspoon of dried dill, and then the juice of half a lemon. And then I'm just going to mix that up real well. I'll portion that into 4 little containers, and then I'll just, the day that I eat these, I'll just drizzle it over the top. So now I'm taking my meal prep containers and I'm just going to combine all the ingredients. In the bottom, I'm going to put the potatoes, and then I'm going to put my vegetables over top of that. And then I'll just top it with the ground beef, or in my case, the ground beef and ground turkey mixture. Then I've got my containers of the topping. So I'll take these all to work on Monday. I only meal prep for 4 days, and honestly, this will probably just be 3 days. My husband will probably eat one of them. So I'll just take them to work with me. I'll either heat them in the microwave or the air fryer, and then I will top them with the topping and enjoy it. So like I said, these come out to 3 points each if you're on Weight Watchers. Unless you're on the diabetic program, don't forget to count the potatoes. For calories, it is 485 calories, and this is 45 grams of protein. So one thing you may notice is my kitchen changed. So I mentioned in my last video that my husband and I have made a move. In addition to everything I got going on with work and all that, we decided to move. No particular reason, except we wanted to kind of downsize a little bit and move closer to my mother. And also, we're looking at retirement in like 8 to 12 years. So just kind of wanted to downsize, just kind of start looking forward to our retirement and doing some savings there. So I hope you enjoyed this one. As always, I'll put links down below to some of the items that I use, like my meal prep containers, my air fryer, different things that I use, I'll link down below. And I'll also type out the recipe down below. Like I said, I don't have a link to an actual recipe. This is not my recipe, so I don't have it on my website, but I will put down in the description box where I got the recipe idea from, and also I'll type out what I actually used for it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one.